company could be marketing.
Sorry?
Like everything could be marketing. Like
Pretty much everything falls under marketing, right? I mean, a lot of things, not everything, but yeah. Well, actually, something that something you do, Toru, falls under marketing.
Forecast.
Focused?
Forecast, yeah.
What do you mean?
Like it could be market research, but you have to
Planning.
think about
Planning?
yeah,
What kind of planning?
Like a budget.
Yeah, exactly. Budgeting, yeah. Budgeting. And also planning, media planning. Media planning. So figuring out how you're going to get your message out to people through media. Media is so many things, right? TV, newspapers, magazines, internet, media planning.
Or
And
financing.
yeah, budgeting, financing, yeah. So yeah, figure out how much money do you have. I mean, that's like probably the #1 question to do all this stuff. I mean,
competition.
yeah, financing, competition. I would say that would go under probably
Competition is
market research.
same products different company.
Yes. Yes, so like the competition for Domino's would be Pizza Hut and Papa John's, let's say. And as a marketing person, you would definitely need to know your competitors. And you would need to know all about their brand and what they look like. You don't want to have the same brand as them. And you would be doing, that falls under research, I guess. You would be doing research on your competitors and seeing, how long they've been around, maybe what area they're in. If there's a Pizza Hut on 42nd and 5th, you don't want to open a Domino's right there. Or maybe you do. Maybe you do want to open a Domino's so there's more competition. That's all part of, your strategy. But you definitely need to know what your competitors are doing. Another important one, Toru, I was trying to get at sales strategy. Sales strategy. So, with Domino's, they're not going out and trying to sell you something, but people are coming into the store, right? And you need to have a sales strategy of how you're going to sell your product. So, this could include having good customer service people, or you wouldn't call them that, you would call them, what do you call someone that serves you pizza? Like I don't know, cashier or whatever, the people that work at Domino's. They need to be good salespeople, right? And they need to be able to, they need to be nice to you. Actually, and that goes into customer relations, customer relations. How you treat your customers. That's really important. Okay. Public relations is in here as well. Public relations. So, okay, so all these things comprise marketing and some other things too. Okay, great. Is there anything here that you don't know what it means?
How do you define customer relation and public relation?
How do you define them? So the difference would be customer relations is how you treat directly your customers. So how you interact with them, what you do for them, basically. So if someone comes into the store, into Domino's, and they say, I just got this pizza delivered, it's cold. My pizza's cold. Part of customer relations would be to, the manager comes over, right? You've had that happen where you're complaining about something and they're like, oh, let me get the manager. The manager would come over and they'd say, I'm really sorry, your pizza is cold. Like, let me give you a refund. Let me give you a free pizza. Let me give you a coupon. That's all part of customer relations, right? Being nice to your customers because you want to keep them for them to come back. Public relations is how you portray yourself to the public. So basically, let me think of an example. if Domino's gets a new CEO, so let's say that through this new marketing strategy, they decided to change leadership. The people at the top, they decided we need new people taking over who can, new ideas, who can put this company in a new direction. So they changed leadership, they changed their CEO. That's big news when a big company like Domino's, an internationally known, or at least nationally known company, changes CEO, that's a big deal. So they would be hiring, they would already have a public relations firm, somebody that handles public relations, to basically let everyone know, not just specifically their customers, but everybody, business people, not only people that are eating their pizza, but people that are buying stock in their pizza, people who are maybe thinking about working for their company one day, people who are journalists who are writing about, companies like theirs. They're trying to let everyone know, hey, we have a new CEO, we're taking this company in a new direction, here are the things you can expect from us. So that's what a public relations firm for Domino's would be doing. They'd be telling people about, what this company is up to. And public relations firms are really important when it comes to when something bad happens. So for example, we talked about this, guys, last time with Nestle. I think we talked about it with Laura. Nestle, I'm sure you've all heard of, right? It's a huge national brand. A lot of companies are under Nestle, like chocolate. They have like a Nestle chocolate. They have, all sorts of different brands. So Nestle wanted to move their company internationally. So they wanted to move into Africa. They wanted people in Africa, I actually don't remember exactly what country, but to start buying their baby formula. So they make baby formula as well. I think it's called like Enfamil or something. So they had this campaign where they were telling, mothers in Africa who they had, some of them had trouble feeding their children because they were undernourished and they couldn't breastfeed. So they were saying, look, we have baby formula. It's nutritious for your children. All you have to do is add water. You just add water to this. And they were trying to make it as easy as possible for these women living in villages. They don't have electricity, they don't have anything, but they have water somewhere. So they were like, just add water to this, and you feed this to your children, and your children will be, will develop, and they'll be fine. Something bad happened. Nestle didn't do their research, and what happened was, first of all, I think there wasn't clean water. There wasn't enough clean water. They had to boil the water first. And then the containers they were using were contaminated. And Nestle didn't, they didn't know enough about their target audience. They were targeting mothers in Africa. They didn't know about them, didn't know enough about the culture to know that contamination was a problem. These women don't know. They're, Nestle comes in, they say, do this. They don't know to question it. So anyway, kids were getting sick, and then also, what was happening was this formula was, what do you call it? It was, if kids stopped using it, so if you're using this formula, you're fine. But once you stop using it, I don't know, there's like problems. You can't like go back to breastfeeding. It was like kind of messed up, right? So, sorry, I don't know the specifics of this, but it's actually it's not really that important. Basically, they were not completely truthful. They were not brutally honest to their customers. They were just trying to sell formula, and they were trying to come off as a brand who cared about people. Like, look at us, we care about the women in Africa, and, we're going to give them formula. Really, they just wanted to make money, and they weren't truthful about it. There's nothing wrong with making money, but they weren't telling them everything about the formula that they needed to know. So, this was a public relations disaster because people in the US started boycotting, and in Europe and Canada started boycotting Nestle. They were saying, we're not, do we know what boycott means? Yeah, right? Okay, so they were saying, yeah, we're not going to buy Nestle products anymore. This is a horrible this company does not care about its customers. All it cares about is making money. We don't want to buy their products anymore. This is where a public relations firm would come in. They would try to, basically they put out fires, to give an analogy, right? That's an analogy you guys might hear. When someone tries to make something in a more positive light, they're putting out a fire. So they would come in and they would say like, oh, but Nestle didn't mean to, and they didn't know, and now they're going to give a lot of money to these women so they can, get better, and they're going to teach them how to clean the water and do it properly. So, this is what a public relations firm is about. It's about making the company they work for have, look as good as they can, the most positive image that they can. And when something goes wrong, they try to fix it. Okay. So, let's go over this paragraph about marketing, because it's important, even though it maybe looks boring. Turn this off. I need to look up about Nestle. Sorry I didn't know all the details. I'm going to look it up. Okay. Marketing is, that first sentence. So it's a crucial business function through which a company carries out activities to plan, price, promote, and distribute products or services to its customers. Okay, so that's marketing in one sentence. Are there any words there you guys don't know? So crucial, do you know what crucial means? No? Really important. That's what it means. Crucial means really important. Business function, through which a company carries out activities to plan, price, promote, and distribute. So these are the, 4 things a company does. We're going to talk more about that. Products or services to its customers. So can somebody tell me the difference between a product and a service when we're talking about marketing? What's the difference between a product and a service?
We can handle or no.
Right. You can hand out a product, something you can use.
We can touch or no.
Yeah. Yeah, good. So for example, like this is a product, right? This is something I buy. And what's an example of a service?
Insurance.
Insurance, perfect. Right, that's not something you can touch, but insurance is also something that you can sell.
Teaching.
Teaching, exactly, is a service. Aha. Okay, the second sentence. So the theory of marketing is based on the belief that people buy a product or service to meet a need or because of a perceived benefit. So, right, at some point, hundreds of years ago, whenever somebody thought, okay, let's put a name to this thing, marketing. And what is it? Why do we need it? Why do we need marketing? What is it? So here's the idea behind it, that people buy a product or a service based on a need or a perceived benefit. So we talked about this last time, the difference between a need and a benefit. Can you guys describe maybe the difference? Being in sales, you probably know, kind of. And do you know what perceived means? Perceived?
Perceive is like get. I'm not sure, but to realize something, to get something.
Yes. Let me think how to